Hey Underdogs, welcome back to Underdogs Rise, the podcast where we rise together. The title of this podcast is called Wake Up Your Heart. And this podcast is dedicated to my dad and my mentor Tim. Thank you. There comes a moment in our lives, quiet and almost unnoticed, when you realise you've been sleeping awake. Not physically awake, but spiritually asleep, emotionally asleep, and with a heart that is asleep. You still get up, you still go to work, you smile when it's expected, you still answer, I'm fine, even when something deeper within inside of you still whispers, no, you're not. And that whisper, that quiet stirring, is where awakening begins. Today we're going to be talking about waking up your heart, because somewhere along the way many of us learn to protect ourselves by going numb. Not because we wanted to, but because we thought that life asked too much of us. Loss can do it. Grief can do it. Disappointment can do it. Heartbreak can do it. Being misunderstood can do it. And carrying too much for too long can do it. You survived by becoming hard when once you were soft. You stopped feeling deeply because feeling deeply hurts. And it's painful to care. You stopped trusting because trust was broken. You stopped opening because opening made you vulnerable. And slowly, without noticing, the walls that you built to protect your heart become the very walls that imprisoned it. But here's the truth. Your heart was never meant to be lived behind prison bars. It was meant to feel, to break and heal, to love and be loved, to ache, to hope, to wonder, to forgive, and to rise. To be fully, courageously alive. Waking up your heart is not becoming someone new. It is returning to who you were before fear convinced you to shrink. It is remembering what was always there. And waking up often starts with one simple question. What have I stopped feeling? What have you buried? What sadness have you locked away? What anger have you swallowed? And what dreams have you quietly abandoned? What love have you withheld from others and yourself? Your heart knows. It always knows. The heart keeps score, not in punishment, but in truth. The heaviness you carry, the exhaustion, that feeling of being surrounded by people and still somehow alone. Sometimes that is not weakness. Sometimes that is your sleeping heart asking you to be awakened. And awakening can be uncomfortable. Because when numbness leaves, feelings return. And feelings return all at once. Tears you thought were gone, memories you buried, regret, longing, questions without answers. Love that still has somewhere to go but nowhere obvious to land. But listen carefully. Feeling pain again is not failure. Feeling means life is returning. A frozen river must melt before it can flow. And so must we. Wake up your heart by paying attention to the small things. The warmth of a morning light through your window, a stranger's kindness, the sound of rain, music that reaches somewhere words cannot, the laughter of someone you love, a quiet walk when the world is still. Moments like these are invitations back to yourself. Your heart awakens in presence. Not in rushing, not in proving, not in endlessly chasing what the world says matters, but here, now, in this breath, in this moment. Wake up your heart by speaking truth. I miss them. I'm hurting. I'm angry. I'm scared. I feel lost. I need help. There is strength in honesty. There is freedom in naming what is real. And you wake up your heart by loving boldly, by telling people that you still love them, by telling people what they mean to you, giving hugs that linger. Forgive where forgiveness brings peace. Ask deeper questions. Look people in the eye. And be present enough to truly see them. And to let yourself be seen. Because at the end of life, very little else matters. Not the titles, not the possessions, not the endless busy work. What will matter is, did you love? Did you let yourself be loved? Did you live awake? Did your heart stay open despite what life did to it? Or did fear quietly close it? This life is fragile. It's temporary but also beautiful. But it's fleeting in every moment. One day all of us will leave this world. But before that day comes, wake up. And wake up others. Wake up to the wonder. Wake up to gratitude. Wake up to connection. Wake up to courage. Wake up to your own becoming. Wake up your heart, because beneath all that hurt that you carried, beneath all that disappointment, beneath all of that grief, there is still something sacred alive within you. A quiet flame, a pulse of hope, a heart waiting not to be fixed, but to be awakened. And maybe today, this is your moment. Not to become perfect, not to have all the answers, but to simply begin feeling again. To begin loving again. To begin place your hand on your heart for a moment. Feel that beat. Steady, faithful and present. It has carried you through every dark night. Every dark moment you thought that would break you. And it is still here. And as long as it beats, there is still a life calling you forward. Wake up your heart. Your life is waiting. Underdogs rise. And we rise together.